are prepared to break the silence. I'll be out in the sunshine, running beside the lions. I've been feeling down, but I've been looking up, afraid to fall. God, I've been so down, can you pick me up? Don't let me fall. Can you show me how to fix this mess? I am down on my knees and I may fall as I'm so close to the edge.
Hello and welcome back to Turf Moor House TV. As I said, we were back we were here a little bit earlier, obviously giving you our thoughts on the new third shirt. And I've got another Claret joining me to give us his thoughts as well on it. Personally, I'll tell you now, the longer I've been looking at it, the more people I've been speaking to, don't know whether it's changing my perception. I shouldn't let people change my perception. I am not a sheep, but I don't know. The more I look at it, the more I'm like, I need to see it in person. That's when you get your ultimate answer. But we are back. This is the second of three tonight. Obviously, we're back at 9 o'clock for our EFL prediction, where the Robins fan, who couldn't join us for this, is free at 9 o'clock. So he'll be giving us his prediction at that point. But I've got a cracking guest lined up as well. So I'm absolutely honoured to have him in as well. Thank you for tuning in with us, and if you're staying with us majority of the night, then I do appreciate you all. As you can see there, it does say follow our socials, and this is where you can find us. When I said I was getting a quality guest, look who's in the building. Big Joe Red from Turfcast. How you doing?
I'll do, mate. I'm all right. You?
Living the dream. Sat on the sofa, not had my tea. Typical. As you do. Everyone else has eaten bar me.
I've eaten, as you can tell.
Oh, what have you had?
Can't remember. Mrs. made it. Some chicken-filled wraps. We get that Hello Fresh. I don't want to start advertising companies.
Hey, no, it's banging, is that?
But we get that mainly because I can't cook for shit, and it helps me cook when she can't be cooking. But she just cooks most of the time anyway. To be fair, so we had one of them. It was some sort of like chicken dish, and it were beautiful.
Yeah, they are nice, and as you said, it gives you a good perception of like learning to cook. It tells you how to do it. Gives you up fresh stuff, doesn't it? Yeah, and it saves you having to go out to market or to shop and be like, right, well, I need that, and that. It's all there for you. Plus half at stuff they send you, I'm like, what? Like Shaxo wine and flaming all that stuff. I'm like, where am I? I'm glad you're sending me that because I won't find it in a supermarket.
Exactly, yeah. I can't even find beer half at time at the supermarket. They change it around. Speaking of beer,
I'm on a brew, not a special brew. I'm just on a cup of tea. Been on coffee most of the day, but I thought, sod it, I'll have a brew. First and foremost, thanks for giving up your time. I know obviously you got work at 8, so obviously we'll keep it short and sweet. But thanks for coming on, first and foremost. Secondly, tell people where they can find you and your Claret stuff.
Yeah, so we're mainly like a YouTube channel, but we are called Turfcast Podcast because we're originally a podcast, but most of the stuff we do now is on YouTube. So just search Turfcast on YouTube, you'll find us there. Search Turfcast on any socials, really. You can download us on Spotify, Apple, Google, all that sort of stuff, the podcast version of it. But yeah, if you wanna subscribe to some Burnley stuff, match day vlogs, that sort of thing, pretty similar stuff to what Dan does, to be fair. Just head over to Turfcast and you'll find us on there.
Yeah, sweet. I mean, the links to Facebook, Insta, Twitter, and YouTube are in the description below. I had to think which ones I put in then. They're in the description below. So if people want to go check out all 4 of them to sub and follow Turfcast, please do. As well as if you're new from here and you've come from Turfcast, then obviously vice versa, likewise. This obviously will be as a match preview to listen to on the podcast platforms after, not long after. So please do obviously show your support on there like you have been doing. It's a slow burner, but thank you to everyone who is listening as well. So let's get into it then, Joe. Obviously, how have you made so far of the 8 games we've played?
Well, it's a tough one because we've changed so much. Everything's different. New playing style, new squad, new team, new manager, new ethos. The entire thought process through the club has changed. You never thought, if I'd have said 6 months ago that I'm frustrated with how much we're playing out from the back, everyone would have thought, what is he on about? But it's exactly. So it's we changed so much. So it's going to be a tough start. And to say that I think we're 5th. I'm one of them. I don't really look at the league table until like 10, 15 games in. But to say that we're 5th after having changed all of that and having a new manager and some people being frustrated, like earlier in the season, there were a lot of shouts, mainly towards Muric, a lot of stuff about the style of play. To say that we've done all that with 5th, we've lost 1 game against a team at the time I thought would be a very good side, but it turns out that they might actually be a bit bobbins in Watford, but I think they'll come good eventually. I think he's very good. I think we clearly look like a side that's difficult to beat because we've lost 1 game, so the proof's in the pudding. And teams do seem a little scared of us, which is, a sign that we're doing things right. Look at the way Preston played on Tuesday night. They just didn't want to play any football whatsoever. They just sat back. This is a home team in the Championship, in a local derby, refusing to play any football because they know if they open up against us, they'll get picked off and we'll beat them very easily. So there's obviously a few issues still to iron out. We need to learn how to break teams down who just refuse to play any football whatsoever because teams are going to do that against us. Millwall did it. Preston did it. All right, Millwall's a bad example because we did eventually break them down, but Preston have done it. Having said that, we're not going to play against many teams with a defensive record as good as Preston's. I think that was only the second goal they've conceded all season. So, so it's still a few issues to be ironed out, but all in all, I'm impressed. It's been a good start to the season and I'm pretty happy with it.
Yeah, no, I echo the sentiment. A couple of comments before we get into it then. Henry's in and says, evening Dan, I think this will be a tricky tie as City just lost 3-2, so they'll be wanting revenge and Burnley still doing well. From one Dan to another, evening Dan the man, back to your fine self. Hope you're well, Mr. Barrow on tour. DJ's in, who says, up the Clarets indeed. The missus doing the donkey work, she's in as well. Says, hey again. I've said enough. I've spoken to you enough today. Bugger off. Luke says, big up your pair of Burnley legends. Hope you're well, Luke. Hope you are well. And Static is in with a comment as well. He says, hey Dan, hey to yourself, mate. Hope you are well. Kate said as well, remember to hit the sub on both channels and give this video a like. Yeah, please do. Smash that like button and sub to both channels and hit the notification bell. Why not?
Just a question, Dan. Where is the missus? Is she in another room or just on a different chair in that room watching you from 2 angles?
Sometimes she sat literally just behind the camera playing on the Xbox, or she's upstairs out the way, which she's at the minute sorting the kids out.
Yeah, fair enough.
And then tonight she'll be there in the background when I'm doing the predictions. She's top of the predictions board, by the way.
That's good for Kate, but come on.
It's good for Kate, yeah. I mean, she won the Premier League one last year as well. So, and this is someone who's only got into football.
Maybe you should give her own show.
I've said that. I've said if she wants to do it, she can do it. And it's just, if she wants to put herself on camera, some women are like, they like to be, oh no, on camera, look, catch me good side, catch that side. But I totally leave the ball in her court. And to be fair, she knows more about football than me. I'm going to ask her to do me bets this weekend and hope it pays off.
We're going to say get on accumulators.
Therefore. So yeah, back to what you were saying. Obviously, the Preston game, very frustrating. Second half, it was just a case of getting through 45 minutes, wasn't it?
Yeah, it were frustrating the second half because they just sat back. The first half, there were openings. In the second half, they regrouped and they were like, right, we're just going to do absolutely nothing. And in the second half, we're pretty tedious. All right, we ended up having a few chances towards the end, as they did, because that's when they only finally started opening up. But yeah, it were pretty tedious to watch, and which were disappointing because it's just the style that they want to do, and fair enough if that's what they want to do and sit back and it worked for them. They got the point, and some people are saying, oh well, they made a few dirty fouls and stuff. Again, it works. They didn't break any legs, so I don't really have any issues with that.
No.
Good game management, if you ask me. But yeah, like I said, we're not going to come up with against many teams with a defensive record as good as Preston's this season. So fingers crossed, that won't be as frustrating as that second half was at any point again this season. Because I do think teams will sit back against us. In fact, we know they will. We've seen loads of teams do it already. So fingers crossed as well. There's a few missing links as well, though. Maybe Scott Twine will be the missing link, or Zahore, or I think that's how you pronounce it. And the Brentford lad, again, I've forgotten his name, and I won't want to try and pronounce it.
I thought he'd have got a bit of a shout at Preston, to be fair. I thought...
I said that. I've just done a preview.
Take Jared off and bring him on, but...
Yeah, I've just done a review for... I don't know. I send this review to this guy, and it ends up on like 3 or 4 different channels. I'm like, I don't know what I've just sent off here. But I've just sent one of them off. And I said, I don't understand why this guy hasn't come on after the 60th, 70th minute, because it wasn't working with Jay. So even if it is the same issue and it was a chance creation issue, not Jay's fault for being out of the game, then fair enough. It's just going to be the same anyway. But leaving Jay on, it is 100% going to be the same. So, yeah, a little bit of criticism for company there. I thought he should have made that change. But, it is what it is. We move on. Like I said, we're not going to come up with against a defensive record like that again this season.
No, definitely not. Definitely not. Do you think teams are going to do that with the way we set up? They're going to think, because some of them like to let's play exactly the same and hope it counteracts. But a lot of teams seem to think sitting back is the answer.
If you play, I don't want to sound big-headed, but if you play, apart from Sheffield United and Norwich, any other team that tries to go toe-to-toe against us at the minute...
I mean, West Brom did it to us, didn't they? They tried to match us.
They won the battle in midfield. That was West Brom won the battle. They had a very good midfield, and that is where they won the battle and why they ultimately got the draw. A late draw, admittedly. But again, if the referee doesn't add 8 minutes on there, we win that game. We've moved on a little bit since then. I still don't know where I got 8 minutes from. But the majority of teams, you can probably put West Brom up there as well, to be fair. If they go toe-to-toe against Burnley, you will get beat. You will, because our midfield is just too good. I do think our midfield is the best in the league. Again, West Brom's could be in with a shout. Sheffield United's could definitely be in with a shout. And we will win a lot of games in the middle. But if you go toe-to-toe against us, most teams will get picked off. So your teams like your Prestons, and your Millwalls and your Hulls, if they sit back against us, that's their best way of getting a point. And that's what they've all done, to be honest. Like we ended up drawing against Hull, drawing against Preston, so it's worked for them too. But there has been cases where we have just managed to turn the screw and the pressure's ultimately cracked on the other team, and we've got the win. Like your Millwall game. But look at Wigan, they tried to go at us, they tried to attack us, and we absolutely demolished them. There was a little bit in the second, towards the end of the first half, after they'd scored the goal, where I was starting to get a little bit twitchy. But apart from that, they offered absolutely nothing. And if it weren't for Muric rushing out when he didn't really need to and clattering the player, and then they don't even get the goal, and it's a comfortable 5-1 win, but a comfortable 5-0 win. But yeah, I think most teams will sit back against us, especially when they saw the joy that Preston have had. So we're going to need to find a way to break them down. Having said that, I don't think Bristol City will do that, because the best part of their team is their attack. Yeah, it is. And speaking of which, the Bristol City fan is in the chat. How are you doing, Anthony? Big up, Dan. Hope you're well. I am well. I'm looking forward to speaking at 9 o'clock about this game. It should be very interesting. Carl says, hi, mate. Hope you're well up the Clarets when it finally clicks. And Luke has said it's been a decent start to say everything has changed around the club for the first time in 9.5 years. Quite happy with the start, to be honest, even though I'm a fan from a distance due to work, which is fair enough. It's fair enough. And Henry agrees with Luke as well. The missus said I went down to Gawthorpe on Tuesday, which she did. She took the kids down there after school. I were in that, is it St Gillian's Social Club or something, Nate Stadium, on Tuesday outside P&E. I didn't see you hanging about, Luke. It was even. I went to a social club near Stadium. Might have just missed you. I don't know what it said. Fullwood Working Men's Club on wall, but I don't think it was called that anymore. Because it was right next to Cathedral, or not Cathedral, or church. Oh no, it weren't that close. To be fair, a bit of a trek down, about a 10-minute walk away. No, we were literally stone's throw away. Literally stone's throw away. To be fair, we paid £7 across from where Tom Finney statue were for parking.
went to this bar and they said, "Oh, you should have come right back over here. There's loads of space and it's only £3."
Yeah, well, we paid £3 in a working men's club, but then they didn't even, there were no one there taking money. And I went with Simon, who's obviously used to be on Turfcast as well. And he's like, "I've not paid." So I go and tell her I've not paid. I'm like, "No, let's leave it. It's fine." Anyway, I went up and paid it with £3. I'm like, "You could have got it for free. Definitely could have got it for free."
Yeah, definitely. As long as you're putting money behind bar and having a beer, they're not going to give a shit.
Yeah, I think we're already 3 rounds in at that point, so they wouldn't have cared.
Exactly. Anthony's come in nice and early and says, "Full-time football championship scored, Burnley 2, Bristol City 6. Fucking hell. Jesus Christ. I mean, Naki Wells got 2 against Blackburn. He's not getting any on Saturday, I'll tell you that now. Well, I'll eat my hat, honestly. So looking at this game, obviously, I know we don't look at the other teams in the league, apart from, if you're casting a quick eye, but they're a team that started pretty well this season as well.
Yeah, they've started well. Like I said, they are good going forward. So I do think this is going to have quite a lot of goals in it. And you're saying then earlier, we're talking about bets. Over 2.5 goals, I think, for this one is pretty much tied on. They're a good side going forward, but they're pretty poor at the back. So I think we'll score goals, and I think they'll score goals. I'm thinking something like 3-1, 3-2 either way. I'm probably going to lean obviously more towards Burnley because I do think looking on paper, if you put each individual next to the opposite individual, I think the majority of the team will be better on our side. So I do think we can get the win. But, Bristol City can definitely hurt us. We've got to go into this with a bit of caution because they are very, very good going forward. So I do think they'll score goals. And if, for example, they go 2-0 up and the Turf Moor crowd gets on the back like they did against Blackpool, then we could end up being nervous and then throwing the game away. So fingers crossed that don't happen. But they can definitely hurt us, Bristol City. They are good enough to do that.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. I mean, what have you made of our transfer business? I mean, we're not used to seeing it, are we? I mean, 13 go, 16 come in, 70 plus million in terms of player sales, but only spent just over 20 in incomings. I mean, it's great what we're doing, and it's obviously fits with the new model that we're trying to, buy young and hopefully sell high.
Yeah.
But what have you made of it, and the actual caliber of players that we've signed as well?
Well, I was talking to somebody about this today, and I don't think there's anybody that I've seen so far that we brought in that I've looked at and thought, he's a bit gash. Everybody I've been pretty impressed with. I've heard some rumours from behind the scenes that apparently Luke McNally's not quite up to it, and that's why we've not seen him play quite a lot. But again, he's young, so
yeah,
who knows? And again, I think, like I said, he's young. CJ Egan-Riley's played a couple of times. I think he played in the. They playing the League Cup. Have we played the League Cup game yet? I can't even remember.
Yeah, we played Shrewsbury, didn't we?
Yeah, I think he played
same pre-season game, but in League Cup.
I think he played in that one, and a few people were saying he looked decent. I didn't get to watch it. I didn't go down, and it weren't on anything worried, which is strange for us. Obviously, being in the Premier League for so long, we used to watching everything on TV, but we can't anymore. But yeah, like Zahori looked good the other day. Bayer looked good when he come. I tell you what, Bayer looked absolutely brilliant. To be fair, I thought. Yeah, I saw him come on. I thought, hey, Charlie Taylor might have just lost his place. Because this lad looks fantastic. Edward Bellis looks good. Cullen looks fantastic. Muric got some stick early in the season, but I've always stood by him. I think he's a good goalkeeper, especially for the way we want to play. There's nobody that we've bought that I've thought is like I said, garbage. And yeah, it was disappointing to see a lot of people leave, but look at what some teams have done, your Stokes and stuff like that. They tried to keep hold of the players when they came down. They didn't go up straight away because of whatever reason. They just weren't good enough ultimately. But then a few seasons down the line, that's when they start panicking and starting to get rid of all the players because they have to get rid of the high earners. But we've done that instantly. We've got rid of the high earners straight away. So, we needed the wage bill down. We've got the wage bill down. And like you say, we've bought a lot of youngsters who've come in. They've excited us so far. And we can easily sell them on for a higher fee in a few years. Look at Twine, for example. He's probably the bad example, actually, because he's not played much. But, he's very highly thought of. He was a League One Player of the Year last year. And he's definitely going to be sold for a profit, unless obviously some injuries or something like that. But then you see all the other players that have come in. You think that Muric will probably be sold for a profit and things like that. So I think we've done very well. It's unusual, but I think it had to be done as well. I think the way that it's gone for the last few years, the conveyor belt just stopped. Players weren't leaving. Players weren't coming in. I think that's why players weren't coming in, because nobody were leaving. Burnley had to sell to bring players in. And we just stopped doing that. But yeah, it needed to be done. I'm glad it's been done. And I feel it's a good time to do it as well. Because, we've, like we said earlier, we've completely changed everything about the side. and you needed some people to come in and buy into that. So, it's been a good thing, and I've been pretty impressed with the players that we brought in, to be honest.
Yeah, I think for me, looking at it now, it's a case of if this is what we're getting out of the players now, when they're still learning this new tactic and they're still trying to figure out each other's games and who makes runs in here and who likes to play off the shoulder, it's it's one of them that you think once this works, you're looking at the best side in the Championship this season, and that's without sounding big-headed.
Yeah, I think we'll struggle to be better than Sheffield United from what I've seen so far of them. But yeah, we'll definitely be one of. I think in terms of like just balls out all the players, you just put the players on a piece of paper. Then yeah, I do think once it all clicks and you look at the style of play and things like that, then yeah, I do think we will be one of the best. I'm just hoping that this period of draws and getting used to things won't see us cut adrift too much. But the Championship, you look at Nottingham Forest last year, for example. Obviously, there's a Forest fan in the chat. They were bottom of the league in September, I think it was, when the new gaffer took over. And then after that, they just went on some good form for quite a while, to be fair. And then went up through the playoffs. So I'm not too worried yet. And I do think we will be one of the better sides in the league. But it's one of them. We need to find a way to break teams down, as I've said.
Yeah, definitely. What have you made a company then? Off the pitch, what have you made a company in his backroom staff? Because, as you say, as much as he's changed on the field, off the field, there's been a lot of change as well.
Yeah, I'm happy with the style of play. I'm happy with the way he presents himself in press conferences. I like the way it's probably all contractual, to be fair, but I like the way he's gone to, he's having pictures with fans outside the grounds and things like that. He's been to certain events. So, he's clearly buying into the area. He's buying into the club. So yeah, I couldn't be happy with him, and I do like like I said, I mentioned the press conferences thing because there's been a couple of moments where I thought when Dyche left, we won't see that again at Burnley. Like how Dyche was so relaxed in press conferences and things like that.
Yeah.
I thought we won't see that again at Burnley once he left. But yeah, company's the same. So very impressed. I like the new style of play as well. I know some people find it a little bit annoying that we just mess around with it at the back rather than being, a bit more, for want of a better word, penetrative. But it's a good style and a style that I think everyone's bought into so far, apart from maybe the people over 65.
Yeah, I think obviously there's a lot of change where let's say the Orient naysayers are still stood there wondering whether to strike that match and light the pitchforks a little bit.
Yeah.
But we've got who've we got after Bristol City? Conflict man's just gone blank.
International break in it after Bristol City.
Yeah, it is.
I think it's Cardiff after that.
Yeah, Cardiff, Coventry.
I'm one of them sad gits that writes the Burnley fixtures down in my diary. But I've not written it all the way through October yet. I just do it as and when. I know the old chain. So we've got Cardiff on the 1st of October, then Stoke at home on Wednesday the 5th. Then it's probably Coventry after that. Yeah,
I mean, games that you'd expect us to win?
I don't know, because we should beat Cardiff, let's be honest. Yeah, I don't like saying stuff like that, but yeah, we should be beating Cardiff. They've had a poor start. They're not a great side. Stoke at home, I don't know, because it's Stoke, and I do sometimes feel that, I do sometimes get lulled into this false sense of security when you see a bigger side and think, oh, should we really be beating them? But it's one of them, like, I do think they are a little bit inconsistent. So if we catch them on one of the good days, who knows? But Coventry away as well, I think they'll be well up for it because they've created this false rivalry with us. The fans will be up for it. Callum O'Hare and things like that. Apparently we were out of order with what we did. We weren't. We just tried to buy somebody. So I think they'll be up for it as well. But if we get 6 points out of them 3 games, I'll be happy with that. Obviously, I'll be even more happy with 9. I think 7 should be a realistic target, though. Try not to lose any of them and win 2 of them. That should be fine. Maybe draw one of the away games, something like that. I do think we'll have to find a way to break teams down by that point, though, because I do think Cardiff will sit back against us. I think Coventry will try and sit back against us, but then hit us on the counter attack because they have got some pacey forwards. So we'll see. I'll definitely take 7 points out of them 3.
Definitely. Chris from Leicester Sladar TV said, just thought a pop on us, may have to get used to this level the way things are going. It's not looking great at Leicester at the moment, is it? Brendan Rodgers is game by game basis by the looks of things. Jags says hello to you two. Hope you are well, Jag. Hope you are well. I've put the link in for you, Robin's talk, if you're in there. And obviously want fancy coming on. That would be great. Dan Mack says if he's match fit, we will have to watch Tommy Conway 7 in all competitions. Yeah, decent little player. Very decent little player. As I say, a lot of attention at Bristol City is on, as you said, Joe. The front, the front men. Andreas Varman has been, an ever present at Bristol City for a good number of years now.
Yeah.
They've got that attacking intent, but I mean, is there a few teams this season that have really surprised you? Like say, Stoke, Reading, Birmingham. For me, 3 teams that I think, shit, like, I've predicted half of you to be, battling it out at the bottom.
Reading especially surprised me, although I do still think they'll fall. I think the start will probably keep them up now, though. Birmingham, again, I think I had them going down, actually. So I am, but again, they'll fade. Like I've seen teams, like people getting excited by your Readings and your Birminghams. I've looked at them and gone, yeah, they've had a good start, but I've not looked at them and thought, oh, you're good. I've looked at them and thought they've had a good start. That's pretty much it, and then they'll fade. I'm more surprised by some teams that have started poorly, like Middlesbrough and Swansea. I thought they'd be up there with us towards the end of the season. They're starting poorly and they're at the wrong end of the table. But other than that, I thought Sheffield United would be strong. They're strong. I thought Norwich would be strong. They seem strong. Watford are a little bit poorer than I thought that they would be, although they did look good against us. But yeah, I think the biggest shock is probably Swansea and Middlesbrough, because I thought them two would be thereabouts.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. Let's obviously bring in our Bristol City contingent. We've got Annie who's come in. Do appreciate it giving up the time, mate. How are you? Hope you're well.
Yeah, not bad. How are you?
I'll be a lot better come Sunday, hopefully, if there's 3 points again. It's nice to get some points on the board, but surely you've got to be very happy with the way you've started this season.
Yeah, and even though we've dropped a few places from the last game, felt overarching feeling of proud. I was very proud from that performance away at Norwich. It felt like we were stepping into the right direction.
We were even proud of your performance against Blackburn. Can I just say that as well?
Yeah, to be fair, the scoreline did flatter Blackburn a bit. We were by far the better team in that game. But yeah, we've become now a team that's attackingly sound and, sound. We've been brilliant going forward. We've looked a threat every time we've gone forward, and against every team now we've proved, even against the strongest in the division, we can attack them and we can hurt them on the counter attack, and that's something that maybe was a bit lacking last season or in seasons gone by under different managers, and that's something we've definitely improved on, and hopefully something we can go into Sunday full of and hurt Burnley.
Yeah, I mean, why not? Why not? You're in and amongst it. Nigel Pearson seems to have got it right. He's clearly dug his head out the sand. He's no longer an ostrich. Everything's going right. Are you still at Ashton Gate?
Yeah, we're still at Ashton Gate, yeah. Of course.
I mean, so what would you pinpoint has been the focal point of your success in the first couple of games?
To be honest, it's probably 20-year-old Tommy Conway, who's replaced Chris Martin, a very experienced championship striker, and got coming to the team. He started against Coventry, I think, in the EFL Cup with Naki Wells, you'll obviously know, and was utterly superb. Ripped Coventry's first team to shreds. It was quite funny actually, because they had an ex-player in our team who we didn't really like and ended on bad terms, and he skinned him for one of the goals. Casey Palmer, I'm not sure if you know him.
Mm-hmm.
That was quite funny. But yeah,
apart from that, Chelsea youth player. Yeah.
Been on loan at Blackburn, Huddersfield, etc. But yeah, he's been brilliant ever since, and he's got his chance. And 9 goal contributions in 9 games. 20-year-old is ridiculous. Naki Wells and Andy Vyman have been a brutal combination up top. And to be honest, they're keeping out probably our most saleable asset on the bench. In Semenyo, he's probably our best player. He's not even getting a start, and every time he's come on, he's scored. He's come on 5 times. He scored 4, and it's like if the front three is not working, we've got our best player on the bench. It's very exciting, and probably not something we're going to have next season. So we're going to have to make the most of it, and that's something Nigel Pearson is doing. He's clearly recognised. He's gone, well, this is the best front four we're probably ever going to have until 10 years, and this can't make the most of it. And we've just basically sacrificed our defence. We've sacked it off. We've gone, no, we can't defend. We're not going to. We just gone full gun ho, and that's brilliant to watch. Also gives me a heart attack sometimes. It's just ball bouncing. It's like you're up there and within 2 seconds you're back defending on your goal line. It's really exciting. It's basketball stuff at times, but it's something that's at the moment it's being really effective.
No, why not? I mean, it's something that we've actually enjoyed at Burnley as well, isn't it? This season, that we've sort of, if you look at it, Joe, we've got quality from the bench. I mean, if Barnes doesn't make it,
I still like Barnes. I think he gets a bit of unnecessary stick. I do agree that he's past it. I will admit that he's definitely past it. I'd rather be bringing on Derlagovlu ahead of him, as we said earlier. But yeah, again, I was talking to somebody earlier that listens to the podcast, and I was having a chat with him, and he was saying, "Do you think this is the best squad depth we've had in a good number of years, or like pretty much ever since we've been in the Premier League? It's the best squad depth. We never had. We're putting 2 keepers on the bench and stuff like that. You know what I mean? And now we actually have people on the bench that can come on and change the game. And even if we don't start Benson, for example, which I don't think we should, I think even though he played very well against Preston, I still would have preferred him coming on at like the 60th, 65th minute, coming on when they're tired and running them ragged even better, and getting in behind their defence probably quicker and easier, because that's exactly what happened against Millwall. We started JBG, we brought Benson on, and then Benson was skinning people left, right and centre as soon as he came on, and then I think he actually assisted one of the goals. So yeah, this is the best squad depth we've had in a good number of years, and we actually have quality on the bench. You can turn around at the Burnley bench and go, he'll do a job now, he'll do a job now, he'll do a job now. Whereas for the last 5-6 years, you look at the bench and it's like, oh, Will Norris is there, what's he going to do? You know what I mean? Or another defender's there, what's he going to do? So yeah, it's definitely the best squad depth we've had for some years.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, Annie, in terms of obviously squad depth, as we've said, is there anything on the injury front in terms of Bristol City squad?
Nothing new, I don't think. Tim Close supposedly is closer to returning, but
Wait, see what you did there.
That was definitely unintentional. I could tell. You didn't mean that.
Definitely unintentional. It was 100% unintentional. But you can see my face when I make a pun. I immediately smile, but that was unintentional. But yeah, Close is supposedly edging to a comeback, but don't think it really matters because he's not going to make the bench either. We have quite good options at the moment. Apart from that, I don't think there is anything really. Pearson's outlined Joe Williams. Joe Williams' plan for the season. It's mostly going to be weekends for him. He's not going to play many midweeks, but again, that doesn't really matter because Matty James has been on it. So it's like, yeah, great. We have another option in the midfield who we're not going to use. Fantastic. On the bench, we have Semenyo sitting on the bench. We have Masengo sitting on the bench, who's cost us £8 million. So yeah, nothing new on the injury front. I think we're good for once, because over the years we've had utterly horrendous luck with injury. I think 2 seasons ago, where we had to play 2 centre defensive midfielders and centre back, and a 20-year-old who barely played as a natural centre back. So we had 1 centre back fit. So from there to here, it's much better, and that's down to the medical department. So yeah, nothing new on the injury front, thankfully.
No, and I mean, looking at us, Joe, Cherlinov out for 2 months. What do you make of that? I mean, obviously, do you see it as a big blow, or do you think we'll be comfortable enough in that area?
I think we'll be comfortable. How many wingers do we have now? I've lost count. Don't get me wrong. I was a little bit disappointed when the news first broke and he put it on his Instagram. But then Zerlinov, or whatever he's called, came on against Preston. I feel stupid saying or whatever it's called, but there's that many signings and so many names I've got to get used to that I can't pronounce in my thick Burnley
Was it that
accent.
Anas Zarora?
So that's it, Zarore. Because I've mixed up there Cherlinov and Zarore, so I said Zerlinov. You're not going to butcher a name as bad as that. But yeah, he came on and he was bright. He looked really good. So I immediately thought, oh, okay, yeah, Cherlinov's injured, but Zarore is going to come on and he should be able to fill his boots. Because let's be honest, Cherlinov was a fringe player. He might have broke into the team and played a few more games as time wore on, but he was a fringe player at that moment. And now Zarore's going to be that guy that comes in and does the job coming off the bench. So, yeah, he was very good against Preston. So, yeah, it's not a big blow at all. I mean that with the greatest respect to Cherlinov, but he was a fringe player and there's somebody that can step into his shoes there more than comfortable.
And do you think we're anticipating a surprise? Because I think they've also said, haven't they? I say they. I mean, companies also said it's when Twan's back, you'll be surprised. But it's soon. Do you think we could see him on Saturday?
I don't know. I've not heard anything. I normally hear stuff by now if someone's going to come back, but that doesn't necessarily mean a thing. And sometimes I don't. So I'd love to see him on the bench. I don't know what this surprise is going to be because we saw him play against Huddersfield. So we know what he's capable of. Obviously, he crashed the free kick against the bar. We know he's decent at long range efforts as he did in League One last year. So yeah, I'd be buzzing if he was on the bench because say if it is 0-0, which it won't be, I don't think. After 60, 65 minutes, then he's going to be a perfect person to bring on and just smack a few from long range because some keepers in the Championship obviously aren't as good as the Premier League, which is stating the obvious. So some of them are going to fly in. Some keepers might spill it. But yeah, it's not going to be 0-0 after 65 minutes. It's more likely going to be 2-2.
No, I'm sure. And he's like, no, not having it. I'm not having it. Joe, I know you've obviously got work and stuff. So if you want, I can let you jump off and sort out the little lad and whatnot if you need to. Pal.
I'll do that now. Then it's been a pleasure. Thanks for having me on. Yeah, I started about 20 minutes, so I'll just turn. There you go. Computer's turned on. I'll just turn the work.
Sponsored by Lenovo.
Yeah, I'll just turn the work computer on and go from there. But thanks, mate. It's been a pleasure. Yeah, it's been obviously I was meant to come on the other week, but obviously the tragic news that the Queen died, we had to cancel the show against Norwich, which is more than understandable and the right thing to do. So yeah, it's been a long time coming, appearing on Turf Moor House, and I'm proud. It's a proud moment. Thank you, mate. So yeah, I'll see you next time.
No, thanks again. And just before you do shoot, give another shout out to your socials, mate. Give them another plug.
Yeah, so just Turfcast Podcast. Obviously, the main thing we are now is on YouTube. We have a podcast as well, but we try and do a lot of YouTube stuff. I've struggled, actually. You've done very well to get 2 Bristol City fans on. You've got, obviously, Annie on now and another guy on later on. I struggled
Anthony supports anybody that wears a red kit, to be fair. I've seen him in a Southampton hoodie. He says he supports Arsenal, but yeah, he lives in Bristol. I think he picks them out of a hat.
Well, it might be his favourite colour, but yeah, I struggle to get a Bristol City fan on, unfortunately. So we are going to do our pre-game show probably tomorrow. It won't be live. We don't do ours live. We tend to do ours not live and then do the full-time show live. So yeah, that'll be out tomorrow on ours, and then the full-time show will be out probably on Saturday evening or Sunday, depending on how busy I am and things like that. But yeah, it's just Turfcast Podcast on YouTube, on Facebook, on Twitter, on Instagram, on TikTok. You know where to find us. Yeah, so thanks for that, Dan. I appreciate that.
No, anytime. As I say, thank you very much for giving us your time, mate. Enjoy work, I suppose. I don't know whether you could ever stick the word enjoy and work in the same sentence, but
this job that I do from home is for William Hill. I won't bore people too much with my actual life, but this job that I do from home is for William Hill. And the other job that I do where I have to go into the office is for DAZN, who stream live football and live boxing and all that sort of stuff. So I'm just going to be sat here watching Cycleberg versus West Ham on that computer while working on this computer and that computer, and probably sticking another a film or something on that one at 10 o'clock when the football finishes. So, it's nice and easy. So, yeah, I probably will enjoy it, mate, to be honest. I watched that Deep Water last night while I was working.
Oh, any good?
It's all right. It's all right, yeah. It has a weird ending, so I had to Google it, like, what does this mean, sort of thing. At the ending, a bit disappointing, but yeah, the film is good if you're into sort of like psychological films, which I kind of am.
Yeah, not wrong with that, mate. Not wrong with that. As I say, enjoy work. I'm sure we'll speak again. If not, I'll try and make myself free for the full-time show on either Saturday or Sunday. Depends if Simon invites you back to Parkview.
Yeah, no worries, mate. I'll drop you a message then.
Nah, no worries, mate. Thanks, Eli. Thanks again. Take it easy. Bye. And then there were two. I mean, what you made of Nigel Pearson? Because his comments early on in the season was almost like he was ready to chuck the job and stuff football sort of thing. What have you made of him as a manager? Because a lot of people, I mean, we've got Leicester fans in the chat who obviously will love Nigel Pearson. But what do you make of him as a manager and how he's been over the courses of the last couple of seasons?
Overall, it's been slow progress, and it's been general transition from really appallingly run club, high paid wages, overpaid players who didn't play, aging squad. I think we were second oldest squad, but fourth highest wage bill, and we were 19th. It was really poor, and Pearson had to change all of that. Got rid of all the players. His first full season, which was last year, I think all gave him a bit of a free pass because it was a massive transition period. We were leaking goals for fun, but our defence was really poor. We had a few young centre backs in. We bought similarly from Oxford as well. Oxford centre back Rob Atkinson, who was the hot prospect then. We got him in. He proved to be a very good signing, and yeah, it's I think most of his signings have been relatively good, and some of them have been sensible. Some of them have been thinking for the future for himself. In terms of Andy King, for example, who's been brought in on a 1-year deal. Didn't really play that much last season, but when he did, he was decent, and now he's a player coach. So another sensible signing, good for his development as well. So most of his signings have been. In fact, all of his signings have been decent, apart from Danny Simpson, who we do not talk about, who was dreadful. Apart from him, they signings have been good. So yeah, I think Nigel Pearson's done a good job so far. A 3-year plan was laid out last summer, where obviously we've got 1 year into it. This is our second year. Realistically, we should, in terms of the plan, we should be near the top half. We're 7th at the moment. Obviously achieving that, and if we finish 13th to 10th, absolutely take that. I think that'll be a very, very solid finish in terms of consolidating ourselves, further away from the bottom 6, because that's where we've been tempting, flirting around a few seasons. So Nigel Pearson has done a very good job transitioning phase, and this season, start of it looked like an absolute car crash. He looked done with football, as you said. He just looked like he'd thrown the toys out of his pram, but actually that got a massive reaction out of the players, and that of his tactics, the way he's embedded the new players, and the quality has been really good. So yeah, very, very happy with what he's done so far, and hopefully next couple of years, another positive 2 years.
Yeah, fingers crossed. Luke, he's a Notts Forest fan, says, was you expecting better from Nigel Pearson to do better with the Bristol City, considering what he did with that team who thinks we're rivals in the 13-14 season in the Championship?
I don't think we expected much more from him, to be honest. As I said, it was always going to be a slow transition. It's always going to be a gentle one, not going to be rushed into anything. We're not going to be expecting promotion really in the next 3-4 years. And we kind of went away from selling on our massive assets. We kind of brought in experienced ones in who we thought would get us up immediately, and then we could revert back to selling assets again. And then if we go up, we could sell assets again, start raising good, exciting players, and then bring in the money, and then bank the Premier League money as well. Obviously, that didn't work out, and now we're going back to bringing in youth. Hopefully, they develop. Nigel Pearson's obviously now got a very good record with the youth, and he's really helped them develop into the first team, mould them in, and we've got probably arguably 4 of the best young assets we've had in about 10 years, apart from probably Adam Webster. And that's something we've lacked over the past 3 years. And, it might be to bring that in. And that's the only real way you can challenge the parachute clubs. That is, the way, if, for example, Norwich had a £6 million player just sitting on the bench. He came on 5 minutes later, took a corner. Josh Sargent cost £12 million. It's 6 million to 12 million. And how are we meant to compete with that? It's like we spend that amount of money. We're in massive trouble in terms of FFP.
Yeah.
So it's really hard to compete, and we've just got to take Brentford's role model really, and a blueprint in terms of how they did it. Bringing in players for cheap, developing them, trusting Thomas Frank, and in this case, trusting Nigel Pearson, and selling them for a profit. That's really how you can compete with the parachute teams, because you don't have the money they have. Then you're not going to get the money they have, and you've got to find a way to somewhat mitigate that by selling for massive money and reinvesting that, and then trying to attract more fans in, trying to increase those gate receipts. Something, that's the only way you can compete with them, and that's something that's obviously Nigel Pearson has done. He's reunited the fan base really, because when he took over, the fan base was in tatters. We were really, really divided on ownership, CEO. That's all changed. We look for once. We look like we're all heading together in the same direction. That's very positive.
No, 100%. Nice to see a bit of Notts Forest and Leicester beef in the chat. Letting the Premier League argue it out while those two Championship teams squabble over who's going to win on Saturday. Chris says the team in 19th. Mind you, that's one place better than you will finish. And Anthony, who supports Southampton, Arsenal, Bristol City, any team in red, says, I'm off now, Dan. My phone needs charging on 10%. Need more battery to rip into you at 9 p.m. Couldn't rip open a packet of crisps, mate. Don't even go there. But I will see you at 9 p.m. Take it easy. Dan Mack says, I'm surprised someone hasn't snatched up Pookie from Norwich. I think there's a reason why. I mean, and I've said this regarding Mitrovic this season as well. Pookie and Mitrovic are sort of, if Mitrovic can continue doing it in the Premier League, then yeah, I won't class him in that Pookie category. Yeah. But Pookie came up to the Premier League with Norwich, bang, scoring goals, was loving it. Went down, did nothing. They came back up, didn't really do nothing. With Mitrovic, we always thought too good for the Championship, but not good enough for the Premier League. But now he's starting to show his worth in the Prem and shutting the doubters up. But I don't know. I think with Pookie, it's a case of his age as well. I think, obviously, we've seen with Ashley Barnes at Burnley, we're trying to bring him on in the last 10 minutes, and it feels like we're down to 10 men. So sometimes you're better off without them. I mean, as we said earlier, Pearson can sometimes easily lose his head. Say you got a phone call tomorrow and he said, listen, I'm not up to the game. I want you in the dugout. You can pick my starting 11. And he's starting 11 for Saturday's game for Bristol City. Who would be in it?
God. Right, I'd stick with Bentley in goal. Given Naismith made two absolutely horrendous mistakes. If you go watch our game against Norwich and the first two goals, oh my word, he has an absolute horror show. But somehow he's probably still one of the best defenders in the Championship, and how he got him, I don't know. But his set piece quality is very good. So that is I think Naismith will start. Big Rob Atkinson will start as well. And probably Zach Viner at this rate. I don't know how he's gone to the team. He's really impressed. So yeah, Zach Viner. Mark Sykes at right wing back, who's actually a right winger or an attacking midfielder, but he's worked his way at right wing back and has been very good actually. De Silva the other side. Alex Scott in midfield, who's been very good for a year-ish now, and probably Matty James or Joe Williams in midfield. Maybe Masengo as well. So we've got three options there. I don't know now. I'll go with Matty James because he's been quite good recently, and Vyman obviously. Conway, obviously, and now we've got Wells or Semenyo. I wouldn't mind either of them. Like, start Wells, he's there on merit because he's been very good. Start Semenyo because he's our best player. It's like, yeah, either one is fine with me. I'll probably go with Semenyo because he's come on 5 games in a row and he's looked really good. He's looked really lively and he's looked like he's fully back from injury. So I'd probably start Semenyo as well because you can't really keep a player of that quality on the bench for too much longer, even though the front three are are in cohesion. It's like when your best player gets injured, but then you start winning because your second choice starts. It's a bit like, yeah, but what about the best player who's coming back next game? It's like, yeah. I'd probably start Semenyo. It's incredibly harsh on Nahki Wells. Like, it is stupidly harsh, and I don't think Nigel Pearson should be advised to drop him. I would. Even though it's his old club, Nahki Wells loves a goal against his old club. Did that at QPR last year. So if that guarantees a goal, I'll take that. So start Wells, but probably I'd go with Semenyo. So back 3, 4 in midfield, 1 and 2 up top.
No, sounds good to me. Who should Burnley look out for? Obviously, I know you said Conway's sort of been the main man. So would you agree that he's the danger man that we should be looking out for?
I mean, yeah, Tommy Conway has been ridiculously good. He's just stuck a fox in the box, really. You get the ball into the box, he's there 9 out of 10. 9 out of 10 times. And him or Andy Vyman, who's I think the second highest assister. That doesn't sound right. Assist player in the league. So yeah, him. I don't really see a threat from our wide areas, but Scott from midfield will. If your midfield are not at it, let's say that's very unlikely because Brownhill and Cullen are ridiculous.
Yeah, they are.
If they're not at it, which again unlikely, Alex Scott will utterly boss you. I will have no questions about that. He is that good. He dominated against Kenny McLean and Marcelino Nunez for Norwich. He bossed them. We had 53% possession. We were brilliant in midfield for once, and that was all down to Alex Scott. His dribbling, his passing it's really on point. It's really good to see, and that's probably another way to control the game if we are to control the game. But I don't see that happening because Burnley are quite possession heavy at this point. Apart from that, yeah, I'd go with Conway, Vyman, and Scott. If Semenyo's not starting, that is. But Semenyo off the bench against a tight defence, yeah, that pace that is not going to be good news for Taylor Harvard-Bellis. And who is the starter? Is it Luke Nally? Is it?
No. Charlie Taylor's been playing there, but we had Jordan Bayer come in on Tuesday night because Taylor went off. So whether Taylor's going to be fit enough, I'm not sure. But Bayer was more than comfortable in that position. Again, is a German under-21 player, and he looks quality. I mean, who are you not looking forward to facing from obviously the Burnley squad?
I can just sense a Josh Brownhill. He's just going to pin a free kick in from 25 yards. Obviously, still love Josh Brownhill. He's so good. Would love him
now
back.
He's been given that free role. Now he's been given that free role. I think he's just a completely new player. I mean, I think he's our backup captain. If Jack Cork doesn't start, then Brownhill gets the captain's armband. He's got that free role behind the strikers, to be honest, and he's just come on leaps and bounds this season.
He was our captain for a bit as well. He is ridiculously good. I don't know how we only got 9 million for him. Probably should have held out till the summer. Actually, maybe we would have got playoffs then. But yeah, him. I don't know. I think I saw Nathan Teller go off in an earlier game. Maybe Wigan.
Yeah, I think he should be fit. I think he should be back and fit. I think it's just one of those that he runs round like an headless chicken, and he just cramps up by about the 70th, 80th minute because he's been running that much. So he should be back in contention on Saturday.
The 70, 80 minutes he runs, he's a ridiculously talented player. He is. The 70, 80 minutes will scare me. The Brownhill, Teller, and I'd probably go with Jay Rodriguez because he's just a championship goal machine, isn't he?
Apart from on Tuesday night when he was literally fucking invisible, he just wasn't there. He may as well have not played. But fingers crossed that back at the Turf, he will be firing on all cylinders. I hope from a Burnley perspective, obviously. TikTok says Taylor won't be fit. It will be Bayer. Well, if it is Bayer, as I say, I think Bayer was very comfortable Tuesday night at Preston. So I look forward to that. Anna, it's been absolutely fantastic getting a Bristol City perspective. I'm glad you could come in and give it us from, as I say, a Bristol fan side of the story. The big question, your prediction for Saturday's game. How do you see it going?
I haven't really thought about this that much.
Is this a head and heart game?
I am normally quite balanced. I am quite pessimistic normally. That's what some of the fan base accuse me of. I don't know. I feel like we'll score. I think that's a trademark now. I think that's something we come to expect from City. We will score at least a goal. Burnley like a draw. We don't really like a draw. We either lose or win. To be honest, I can see another 3-2 or a 2-1 to Burnley. And under normal circumstances, under a normal team versus a normal team, you go 3-2. That's your prediction, really. I'm like, you've not seen the City team. It's very erratic. Yeah, I'll go with a 2-1 to Burnley. There's a lot of quality in that team. I don't see a way past it. Unless by some miracle you play a midfield too, and we gain some sort of control in midfield. I can't really see it. I feel like Cullen. I think the game deciders will probably be Cullen, Cork, and Brownhill. I just don't know. I just feel like them. I just love a midfielder, right? John McKelson, like them and Jean McKelson, two my favorite midfielders. They're brilliant. So yeah, I think that'll be the game decider. So I'll go 2-1 Burnley.
No, I'm sure we'll take that. I will not give anything away because at 9 o'clock we will be doing the prediction show with Anthony, as I say. So I will give my prediction there. However, I mean, I think it was a giveaway the way I smirked when you said Burnley love a draw. So that's a giveaway where I've gone with that one. But I will put some stuff in the description of this video when we've ended it. But tell people where they can follow you and where your stuff and what stuff you do on YouTube and things.
So you can find me in the chat or at AH Robbins Talk. That's my YouTube channel. That is where I upload my Bristol City stuff. I'm a regular uploader on Twitter with normal footballing nonsense, really. I kind of like to wind up the Newcastle fans. I have a lot of Newcastle followers. I quite like to wind them up. So if you like a bit of Newcastle digging, you can follow me there. But yeah, that's where I promote my YouTube stuff as well. So you can follow me there at Annie Harish 5. Yeah, it's a bit random, but it's Annie Harish 5 there. Instagram, AH Robbins Talk. That's about it. So yeah, please subscribe if you can.
Yeah, please do. As I say, I will put the links in the description when this video has ended. You will be able to listen to this if you're listening right now, which you will be when this is uploaded. Then, as I say, we are on Spotify, Google Podcasts, and Apple Podcasts, so you can also listen to us via there as well. Remember to like and subscribe to the channel if you are new. It costs nothing. It's free. Show your support to Annie as well. Show your support to Joe and Turfcast, who were in earlier. And yeah, thank you very much for coming on and giving up your time, mate. I do appreciate that. No problem. And yeah, good luck for the season, obviously, apart from Saturday, as we usually say. But we both could be in and around it come the end of the season. It's going to make for a very interesting game, especially I think you're fourth, we're fifth, if I'm right.
We're seventh at the moment. We dropped
Seventh?
down to playoffs after. Yeah, it's not that much of a gap, but yeah,
Nah.
we did drop.
No, I think we're still close in terms of points, isn't it? I think there's only a point difference, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah,
So,
one or two, not that much.
So it's going to make for an absolute cracker at Turf Moor. Fingers crossed the weather is going to be on our side. To be honest, I think these players need a good. It needs to piss down on Saturday. I'm going to say it as it is. It needs to really come down, proper Burnley weather, and give Bristol a nice tasting of welcome to the north. But that is it for this match preview. As I say. Just last comment by Luke, who says, can't see Taylor playing that quickly after his injury against Preston. No, as TikTok said, I think it will be Bayer. But for now, thank you very much again. The missus says we're due nice weather all weekend. So I suppose, every cloud, I suppose. I'll take any cloud at the moment. Thank you very much for watching. We will be back in just under an hour now. It's 2 minutes past 8. We'll be back at 9 o'clock. Doing the predictions for the championship. Get them in the comments. Let us know who you think's going to win. As I say, it's I'm fed up with the missus being top of the leaderboard. I can't have it. I'm always bottom. She's always top. I'm the one that introduced her to football when we got going out 7 years ago, and she keeps winning it. I don't get it. It's so annoying. Andrew's gone for 2-0 Burnley in the chat as well. I mean, I'll snap your hand off for a win at the moment. Would snap your hand off. But thank you very much for watching. As I said, the outros can take ages. We could go on and on with the outro. But thank you very much to Annie. Thank you very much to Joe as well. And we will see you in just under an hour. Don't forget, up the Clarets.